This poster says truth, justice, whatever. And whatever is exactly what the script gave. The script doesn't give that these people were excited to write Supergirl, that they wanted to do their best, that they were interested in Supergirl. Not at all. Also, in looking up Lobo, I found this article on comicbook.com where James Gunn and whoever was talking about like how they plan to approach Supergirl and the comic storyline that they were pulling from. And James Gunn says he was interested in Millie Alcock playing Supergirl because he wanted Kara to be this little pixie-ish but very attitudinal character. Now, I don't know if there's a female character in existence who has ever benefited from their male writer, director, producer, which James Gunn is on this movie. He's the producer, one of the producers. I don't know if a female character has ever benefited from being described as pixie-ish, pixie-like, manic pixie dream girl is the one that we're most familiar with. I don't know if there's one in existence, but I know Kara Zor-El did not benefit from being thought of like that. If that's how the description of Kara started, it's no wonder that we started here. Welcome to my spoilery review of Supergirl. Spoilers will start right here at this timestamp. In the meantime, let me read the official summary of this movie from Warner Brothers Pictures. When an unexpected and ruthless adversary strikes too close to home, Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, reluctantly joins forces with an unlikely companion on an epic interstellar journey of vengeance and justice. It didn't give... First of all, this movie was too interstellar. Too many planets, too many aliens. It's almost like it was trying to distract me from how bad the script is. I can't tell you whether or not Millie Alcock is a good Supergirl because the script that she had to work with sucked. Supergirl is directed by one Craig Gillespie, and the screenplay is by Ana Nogueira. It stars Millie Alcock, Matthias Schoenaerts, Eve Ridley, Jason Momoa, and a few others, including David Corenswet, who is absolutely wasted in this movie. Clark's appearances in this movie does absolutely nothing to contribute to Kara's development to her storyline. It is a waste of time. So let's run down Kara's story, her origin story as a character, based on this movie, like the pieces that this movie chose. Okay, so Kara was born on a piece of Krypton, Argo City. So already, you know, her planet blew up, bunch of citizens blew up, she's born on a piece of it. Okay, she grows up there. Then everybody starts getting sick because there's something wrong with the soil, there's something wrong with the core, the crust, whatever. Her mom gets sick and dies. People around her, very few, limited population, start dying. Her father chooses to save her and only her. So she's put in a pod to be sent to Earth, knowing that everybody she's left behind is going to die. She's the only survivor. So then she lands on Earth, never been there, doesn't speak any Earth language, Earthen, Terran language. She's picked up by the most enthusiastic person, the most chipper person in the world, her cousin, who is Clark Kent. So this is the material. We've got a displaced alien, interstellar immigrant who is displaced. We're talking survivor's guilt, survivor's remorse. Bunch of people have died. She now has a cousin who probably wants her to immerse, assimilate. She's shoving a suit in her face and telling her how good these people are. Like, I'm sure that's very overwhelming. This is what we have to work with. This is the material. So interesting. Kara, actually, well, she didn't live on Krypton, but actually lived amongst Kryptonians, spoke the language, all of that. How old was she when she got to Earth? Who knows? But she left Argo City as a teen, a preteen. There's so much to work with. Kara should be an interesting character, as interesting as Clark, or at the very least, interesting in her own right. Is this movie interested in her at all? No, it is not. Instead of working with any of that, it pays lip service to it. We instead get what they think is interesting is a drunk Kara who is a party girl, who lives in a pigsty, who looks like she smells, who looks like she forgets to take a shower, which I'll get to that. She has no meaningful connection, which hurts her character. Crypto is not a meaningful connection, okay? He's supposed to be her one meaningful connection, and that's what's supposed to sustain the emotional weight of this movie. But Crypto is a dog. And it's not just that I'm not a dog person, because I felt it for Clark. The problem is that Clark had a full life. I'll get to that. Crypto is her only meaningful companion, and yet we only get their relationship via montage. Her partying, them sharing a damn spoon, no meaningful connection. She's off planet. She's not interacting with the one person we know that she knows. To top all of that off, she is saddled with a preteen companion. First and foremost, let me address the fact that Kara has no meaningful companion and she's drunk all the time. That is supposed to signify the fact that she is depressed. It's supposed to be showing us the fact that she has not connected to Earth. The problem is that they lean too much into it. We don't have a lot of time in this movie. We've got an hour and 40 minutes, maybe hour and 45. They leaned on that to the detriment of her character, because the fact of the matter is that she needs to talk to someone. She needs somebody to pull her out. And she needed adult supervision. She needed someone who was older than her, wiser than her, who's been through some shit, who's been through more than her, someone who could help give her perspective. They saddle her with Ruthie, and only Ruthie. It'd be one thing if she was saddled with Ruthie, but she had an adult that she could relate to. They give her Ruthie, who, despite the trauma that Ruthie experienced, simply does not have the life experience, does not have the context, is not able to, is way too close to what just happened to her. She doesn't have any wisdom to provide to Kara. She's supposed to. She's supposed to be the inspiration for Kara to, get out of her funk and start caring about people outside of herself and Crypto, but it doesn't work. Ruthie doesn't have anything interesting to say. She doesn't have any interesting insight. What she says is very lame and very befitting of her age. Kara, Supergirl, considering her background, deserved in her debut movie in this new DCEU, she deserved an adult that she could have related to, who could have helped to pull her and help her grow. She deserved Clark. This movie should have been, like I said in my non-spoiler review, a buddy adventure between her and Clark, or at the very least have Clark be featured a lot more than he was, because I'm picturing Kara has only been on Earth for who knows how long, okay? The movie doesn't care to establish that, to help further anchor into why she's still in this headspace and emotional space where she is rejecting Earth and everything about it. We should have seen her and Clark on Earth, at the very least part-time, not through flashbacks, through the present. This could have been a growth opportunity for both her and Clark, because again, she is displaced. Clark, going from those flashback scenes, is not considering that at all. He's just Earth, 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 go Earth. He's very chipper. This movie, no matter what it's trying to do in the present, actually downplays the trauma that Kara has experienced. Even to the point that at the end, she comes back to Earth to tell Clark she's ready to try, and her and Clark never have a meaningful conversation about what she's experiencing. If you're Golden Boy, you can't write your Golden Boy, your fave Superman, and he is your fave, he's mine too, to have a meaningful conversation with her about what she's been going through. Do you care? This could have been a growth opportunity for Clark, because he simply cannot relate. It's just such a damn waste. And I'm sure the next time we see them, it's going to be all hunky-dory. Another failed opportunity is this thing about Kara being an anti-hero. Apparently, she's an anti-hero because she has a bad attitude. Oh yeah, and also like she kills the bad guy at the end. Get over yourself. And I'm telling you, like, to the creative team, get over yourself. We got the guy who's not an anti-hero, who is a straight up hero, talking about his philosophy. Why does he move the way he moves? Why is life precious? Why does he want to save the alien? And you know what I mean? The anti-hero, we don't get that. We don't get Kara's philosophy. We just get a comparison to Clark and this like lame, like, oh, my cousin sees the best in people. I see reality. Okay, why? Because again, if we think about the timeline, considering the life that Kara was living in Argo City, considering she was partnered with Clark to be saving people because she has a suit, How the hell did she get so comfortable with killing people? Why the hell does she even have this philosophy? Considering, again, her life in Argo City, the few short years she's been on Earth, and she's had Clark, overbearing cousin, I suppose, because we didn't get to really, why is she comfortable taking a life? Where does this philosophy come from? It'd be really good to have a movie about Supergirl where we could explore where her philosophy comes from and why does she have it. We don't get that. We don't get any depth to her anti-heroism and her willingness to kill. Kara and Ruthie are not a good pairing. I've already said why, but also additionally, it's because Kara's in this position of telling Ruthie, you don't want to kill, like vengeance is not really gonna help you, which is so generic. It's true, vengeance is going to help her. And of course we know this comic book movie is not going to give us this little girl killing a grown-ass man. We're not gonna get that. We all know that. But the whole time I'm like, this is such a mismatch because like Kara's talking to Ruthie like she knows, like she's been there. When? Because they don't have the same backstory. Kara lost her parents to an environmental disaster. Ruthie lost her entire family to a murderer. It is not the same. And so like, it's generic. Like, of course you would say that. Why wouldn't you say that? She has no experience with trying to seek revenge. Does she? Does she? I don't know. I don't know much about her after sitting through this movie about her. Does she have experience with seeking revenge, or is she just repeating some platitudes to this girl? Kara is a very off-putting character, not because she's an anti-hero, but because she's an off-putting character who has no depth, okay? So she has an attitude, she's rude, she just wants to be drunk, she just wants to be drunk out of her mind because she's supposed to be depressed, but honestly, it just comes across like these people, Anna and Craig and all the creative force behind this movie, they just wanted to write a blonde, drunk party girl who was pulling down her underwear to pee and all that BS. She's off-putting, right? Because she doesn't care about anyone but herself because she's going through it emotionally. It's not done well. She comes across this girl who says, my whole family has been murdered. That is not enough to pull her out of her stupor because that's supposed to be the story. The thing is, even when she's supposed to start growing, she's still off-putting. Why did she leave Ruthie on that planet where, at least the part of the planet where she was at, little girls are being sold into slavery, sex slavery? Why did she do that? Yeah, she killed a whole bunch of brigands who had come to collect, but there's still a culture of people very close by who work like that. So why did she leave that girl there? One. Two, I think Kara's character in this disaster of a movie actually would have been better served if she had saved the black girl and her family. And we could have had a moment of like, what you did was messed up, but I understand the desperation, some complexity in this, because like, I feel like because she's an anti-hero, that assumes a certain level of complexity, and there is none. She should have saved that entire family. And then maybe the brigands kidnap Ruthie, and that's how she goes off planet and follows them. Why did they write the scene where she puts on the persona of a ditz to speak to Lobo? What did that serve? I'll tell you what it served. It served for Lobo to call her a ditz later on in the movie. That's it. That's all. Because why would she do that? He calls her a ditz later on, and then she says, funny, that's what I call you. That falls flat because ditz is a gendered insult. And it doesn't make sense for Lobo. He's not, well, he might be stupid, but he's more a boor, B-O-O-R, than anything else. A boor, a meathead. It falls flat. Sorry, you did not counteract the unnecessary misogyny that you entered into your own movie against your heroine. Also, while I'm asking questions, why is Lobo in this movie? His story is running parallel to Kara's. I thought, oh, here's that adult who knows her, who she knows who's gonna help her a little bit. No, she says, oh my God, it's Lobo, but they don't seem to have a history. She knows about him, but he doesn't know her. They don't seem to have run across each other before. So it kind of seems, honestly, I'm gonna say it seems like he's in the damn movie because we needed a man. You know how I'm not even gonna. Sometimes in the movies with black characters, it's like we need a white male, a white companion. I'm talking like, what's his name? Agent Ross or whatever, being in Black Panther. There needed to be like a safety net for the white people. Like, this is giving Lobo is a safety net for the men in this movie. Because, again, he doesn't do anything for Kara's development from point A to point B. Because Kara is such a weakly written character, I couldn't help but notice all the time she was conveniently hurt. She gets to this damn planet and then is knocked on her back for what feels like 10 damn minutes. The action is going on somewhere else and she's just lying there. You literally have your main character prostrate, if that's the right word, while the action continues to go on to show freaking Ruthie, doing a little 1, 2, 3 combat, which was nice to see, you know what I mean? But so finally, Kara gets her ass up because the yellow sun makes an appearance and she dons the suit. And this is supposed to be, I don't understand why her donning this. Yeah, it's supposed to signify that she's accepted that she needs to help people or whatever, but she still needs the antidote. So she puts on the suit, but I don't understand why this is special because she been had the suit, which means she's been putting on the suit. I never heard anything about her no longer putting on the suit. And so that moment falls flat. That moment is not earned to me because I don't know, like, she was wearing the damn suit when we saw her at the end of Superman. So, like, what was that supposed to signify? What was special about it? Nothing. This movie is unforgivably boring. I truly do not understand. If you were going to have Clark in the movie, why would you not use him better? Why would you not make one of his scenes a scene with Kara that is just like so emotionally impactful, like so pivotal to either explain their differences or to explain why Kara is the way she is? Wasted. Unforgivable. I give it a 2 out of 5 only because nobody failed at acting and the CGI was more good than bad.